I've heard this complaint again and again from White House officials, from Trump allies, from conservatives who are extremely unhappy with the media coverage of this president. What they say is the media focused on all the wrong things. In fact, I had Reince Priebus, the former White House chief of staff, on my show a few days ago. He talked about the media being obsessed with Trump 24/7, whether they like Trump, whether they don't like Trump, and how, in his view, this was overshadowing the coverage of tax cuts and ISIS and, immigration and other important issues. And this is the argument. Kellyanne Conway, Sean Spicer, when he was there, and others have made this case again and again. They think the media are so fixated on the wrong things when it comes to this president, just in an effort to sort of get a lot of ratings and clicks, that the important issues, the issues that everyday Americans care about, the kitchen table issues, all of that is overshadowed. So now something kind of strange has happened, because the left and the right, when it comes to President Trump and the media coverage of President Trump, basically don't agree on anything. But now I'm hearing from people on the left a very similar complaint about the Trump coverage being so overpowering, all Trump all the time, and focusing on the wrong things, that issues that are important to liberals, in their view, are not getting adequate coverage. So it's a rare convergence, because when you look at the polls, most Republicans think the press is way too hard on President Trump. Most Democrats think the press is way too easy on President Trump. But now you have this sort of area of agreement. So along comes Nick Kristof, who often writes about foreign affairs, liberal columnist for the New York Times, and he makes the very same complaint, writing that we in the media are collectively addicted to President Trump. We have a symbiotic relationship. He is our business model for 2018. It was what Reince said. Trump is money for the media. And so Kristof goes on to say that these nonstop scandals and outrages suck us in. They amount to Trump porn. There's a good headline for clickbait. And then he talks about all the things that he thinks aren't getting enough attention from a liberal perspective. Opioids, 65,000 Americans this year will die of drug overdoses, American life expectancy falling, health insurance, and then around the world, Syria, Myanmar, and other issues. And then there's this very telling, and I thought very candid, admission from Nick Kristof, who says, first of all, he says these issues are more important than whether Stormy Daniels slept with Trump. I think we could probably all agree on that. And he says, progressive snobs like me bemoan Trump's inattention to these global issues, but the truth is we don't pay attention either. At cocktail parties, on cable television, at the dinner table, at the water cooler, says Kristof, all we talk about these days is Trump. So we complain about Trump being insular and parochial, but we've become insular and parochial as well. We've caught the contagion that we mock. Even when he has a date night with his wife, says Kristof, they end up talking about Trump. And that, I think, does put a finger on a very important point. And not just credit to Nick Kristof for saying, even a liberal like me, is falling into this trap. But the important point being that it's up to us in the press, whether you're right, left, center, whether you're a journalist, a commentator, an anchor, a blogger, a bloviator, we get to decide what we cover, how we cover it, the tone. Is it going to be, 80% about the Russia investigation? Is it going to be 50% about the Stormy case? Or should we devote more time and attention to these other issues, healthcare, taxes, immigration, that the president undoubtedly plays an important role in? It's not like you can divorce Donald Trump from these issues, but if we were a little bit more substantive, a little bit less in the business of chasing ratings and clicks, then perhaps we wouldn't fall into this trap. In other words, it's easy to blame Donald Trump and the way he's conducted the presidency for the nature and the tone and the volume of the media coverage. But in the end, it's really up to us. And if the coverage is lousy, it's our fault.